So on today's podcast, I'm talking about the vital role that organizations play in the world today to care for, develop, and connect people, which leads to greater impact on the products and services our organizations provide, but also makes a tremendous impact in the way we experience the world. Welcome back to the Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced the best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back, breathe in good oxygen, and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world. Hey everybody, it's Jason, and welcome back to the Thermostat Podcast. Wherever you are and however you're coming to the podcast today, welcome in. So glad you are here. We're in Season 9, over 275 plus episodes now, so much great stuff out there. If you are new to the podcast, I invite you to check out the past episodes that we've put out there. You can just Google my name, Jason Barger, and any topic that you're looking for related to leadership, culture, team, communication, trust, accountability, whatever that is for you. And chances are you're going to find an episode that hopefully resonates with you. So glad that you are here and listening. If you're somebody that's been with us from the very beginning, I'm so glad this continues to add value to your life and your work. My commitment to the listeners every time I record one of these is I want this to be an opportunity for you to step back, hopefully for you to have some good oxygen breathed into you, so that you can think about the temperature that you're trying to set in your life and your work. And my hope is that our conversations on here lead you into some positive progress and helping to think about that culture that you're trying to create with the people around you. If you'll do me the quick favor before we dive into today's topic, if you will rate the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you're on, just smash that 5-star button. If you will, subscribe, of course. If you will authentically, rate but also fill out in your own words a review for the podcast on whatever platform you're on, that helps the algorithm in significant ways. So if you'll share your own thoughts about why these topics and this spirit of this kind of work is important in the world, that helps other people find it. And then lastly, anybody that shares the podcast on social media or sends out episodes to their team or colleagues across the organization, says, hey, here's a topic we ought to listen to and then talk about. So those are the ways in which the messages are amplified, and I'm so grateful for everybody that takes a moment to do that. So thank you. I'm often asked about the state of the workplace in the world today. People see the fortunate role that I get to play by being in and out of many different kinds of organizations across industries. I get to play a role in helping to develop leaders and cultures and clarity of mission, vision, and values. Most people I know only get to experience the singular organization that they work with, that they see things through the perspective of the employer or the company that they, work with currently or have many cases worked, their entire career for. And so they don't get to see the many different perspectives that I'm fortunate to get to see. So I'm often asked about my perspective on the changing workplace, the future of the workforce, and any reflections or observations I have based on the rapidly changing world and opportunities and challenges that many people face and the uncertainty that abounds. I stay steadfast in my response to these types of inquiries. My observation, my reflection, and my personal belief is that our organizations play one of the biggest roles we have in helping people navigate and experience the world today. Our organizations, the teams, the cultures, the companies that we work with, they play a significant role in helping to shape people and develop people and help us navigate many of the things that are happening and that we're experiencing in the world. It's our organizations, the places of our employment where so many people spend so much time in their lives. It's those spaces, the leaders and teammates that we encounter that have the opportunity to have the biggest impact on us as humans, positively and negatively, by the way. And I choose to focus on the opportunity leaders and teams have to positively impact people's lives and help us create better work, better products and services into the future, and, in my opinion, help us navigate and lead better in the world. Beyond that belief and philosophy personally, my observation is that the best leaders and organizational cultures on the planet take this approach. They see their organization beyond just the work they do, but a place to honor and bring out the best in their people and create a culture people want to be a part of. And in doing so, by the way, their performance metrics go up. By so many different statistics and research will show us that when people are engaged and connected and feel valued, their performance actually goes up. And so I'll say that our cultures become shelter that we provide for our people. So on today's podcast, I'm talking about the vital role that organizations play in the world today to care for, develop, and connect people, which leads to greater impact on the products and services our organizations provide, but also makes a tremendous impact in the way we experience the world. But before we dive into today's topic, let's pause, take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Many teams and organizations right now are realizing that they need to do both. They need to engage the minds and hearts of their people in person, where everyone in the room can experience the energy of congregating together and find clarity for the road ahead. And they also need to continue to find ways to engage the minds and hearts of their people virtually, with those who are working remotely or at a distance. So, if you are in the process of planning your next team meeting, company all-hands event, conference, or culture summit, and are looking for support with a powerful keynote speech, facilitated team conversations that are the currency for change, or deeper development on leadership mindset and an intentional strategy for the culture you're trying to create, I hope you'll contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. It is my privilege and our honor to partner with great people to provide support in these areas. We want to breathe oxygen into your leaders and throughout your organization so you can set the temperature you want for your culture. We look forward to connecting with you soon. I hope you'll contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. It is my privilege and our honor to partner with great people to provide support in these areas. We want to breathe oxygen into your leaders and throughout your organization so you can set the temperature you want for your culture. We look forward to connecting with you soon. Terry Hershey is a good friend and a past participant. Not only he's been on this podcast, but he's been a participant in one of my Thermostat Cultures live events that I host each year in the fall in Columbus, Ohio, and then also there's a hybrid kind of remote experience that you can be a part of. But Terry was a past participant in that, has been a voice that I've welcomed on the podcast. He's a very talented author, speaker, ordained minister, actually, wine and golf enthusiast, and I appreciate he's a thinker. And I enjoy his weekly, what he calls Sabbath moment emails that he sends with his thoughts that help us all kind of pause and reflect on important elements of life. In a recent email, he shared a passage from Margaret J. Wheatley's book, Turning to One Another, that's the title, Turning to One Another, that shared the Irish saying, and pardon my horrible pronunciation of this, I'm sure, but the Irish saying, Ar scath a shale a macharan de nadoan. Now, I probably butchered that. I'm not an Irish speaker. But he said, not being an Irish speaker, I asked her what this phrase meant. And he shared that she replied that the Irish saying meant in the shelter of each other and the people we live. In the shelter of each other, the people live. This proverb stirred deep within me as I reflect on it. I continue to discover its profound, rich meaning, one that is for everyone, irrespective of language, place, or race. And Wheatley goes on to say, we have to stop pretending we are individuals that can go it alone. I believe that we turn to one another, let go of our judgments, become curious about each other, and take the risk to begin a conversation, the world will be a better place if we can do that. And that's a thank you again to Margaret J. Wheatley's writings and turning to one another that Terry Hershey shared and shared some great thoughts in his Sabbath moment email about. And as I read this, I read his email and his account of this idea. I returned to this idea from a slightly different perspective, but one that I thought was worth sharing to this audience, that beyond how we view each other in the world, which again is incredibly important and I advocate for as well. But as I read this, I returned to this idea that our organizations play such a significant role in our world and the opportunity to provide shelter for people. I loved that language. It's no secret that the human race has been faced with much conflict, division, anger, uncertainty, and challenges over the last few years, and certainly many other times across our history. People coming in and out of our organizations each day are carrying with them significant baggage, anxieties, worries about an increasingly divided, disgruntled, and uncertain world. Yet, our places of employment, the places we spend the majority of our days, also often represent the spaces in the world where the most different people come together to accomplish something. These are often the most diverse places of experiences, of thoughts, and of backgrounds. These are the places where we find ways to leverage the strengths of others and overcome the challenges that might separate us. The best places to work, we know, realize the culture they create for their people is not an add-on. It's not an extra thing they do. It's a part of everything they do. The best places realize that their culture often becomes the shelter they provide for their people. Again, from my vantage point, as someone who helps organizations develop leaders and cultures, our organizations are the places where we develop how to become better teammates. It's where we get clarity on the culture for how we want to collaborate with one another, where we learn the diverse strengths of people and gain greater appreciation for those different than us. The places where we learn how to have more effective, courageous conversations. The places where we build trust. We experience care from a team of people around us. And we see that we're all part of serving a mission greater than ourselves. I know that, of course, that happens in other organizations and places where we belong to and are members of and experiences in faith communities or teams or youth sports or any of those kind of things. Maybe if you've had a positive experience in those areas, I know those also provide the opportunity to teach those lessons. But it's our organizations, our places of employment where we spend the most amount of time and have the most different perspectives and things at stake for how we perform. Our organizations and the leaders and the teams we work with play a major role in helping us find shelter from uncertainty in the world and navigate the challenges we face in order to build a better tomorrow. And I don't, if you're hearing this in any way, I do not believe this to be, I'm not saying this in kind of some Pollyannic or idealistic, idea in any way. I don't hear it and see it that way. I hope you're not hearing it that way. I recognize that no organization, no team, no leader is perfect. Of course not. I certainly am not, and I know I'm yet to find the perfect leader, team, or organization. But I also stand firmly behind the idea that our organizations have that biggest opportunity to impact the people's lives within the organizations. And in doing so, impact our world in significant ways because we carry that kind of thinking, collaboration, and professionalism into other areas of our lives. So our organizational cultures become the shelter we provide for our people. The proactive question is, what kind of shelter do you want to provide for your people on the road ahead? What kind of culture do you hope to create? What type of impact do you want to have on the people that you employ? Your culture provides shelter for your people. And the best places are actively practicing these elements and more. The best places are defining their culture. What is that culture that they aspire to rally their people around to create? What is it? The best places listen to their people. They seek ways to take the temperature of their people in order to know what they are experiencing so that they can help set a new temperature in the future. The best places have courageous conversations. Instead of avoiding them or gossiping about them or blaming others, the best places they learn and practice how to have more effective, courageous conversations about the stuff they ought to be talking about instead of ignoring it. And again, I think that has value that spreads beyond our organizations. They help our organizations and the best places help people develop emotional intelligence. They help their people better understand their own emotions, strengths, challenges, etc., and also help to recognize and understand those in the other people around them. That's emotional intelligence, not just what do you know about yourself, but what do you know about the people around you. They help people leverage and harness the strengths of those people that are different than us. And lastly, they define leadership. The best places and the best cultures that shelter people, they also help educate people and define what does true leadership look like. I've said it many times that the term leadership has been hijacked, in my opinion. The best places, and what I mean by that is that we throw around that term so loosely. And in the world today, there are often people that are in positions of leadership but absolutely don't lead. And so the best places help define and develop in its people what does compelling, influential, and exceptional servant leadership, what does it really look like in action and behavior? So that we don't perpetuate the old models of coercive, power-hungry, authoritative styles of leadership that divides people. So the best organizations that provide shelter for the people are actively doing those things, helping to define the culture and listen to their people and have courageous conversations and develop emotional intelligence and have clarity around what true and authentic, compelling servant leadership looks like. And so as I say many a times, we are the ambassadors for the life and the cultures that we want to create together. And in every one of our collaborations, we have an opportunity to be shelter for the people that we collaborate with. We get to make our relationships transformational rather than just transactional. Our organizations have the opportunity to be the shelter we provide for our people. So as always, let me leave you with a few questions to ponder about today's episode. What is the type of culture you hope to create into the future? Whether you're thinking about your team, your organization, your family, your community, whatever, what is the type of culture you hope to create? What is the shelter you provide your people right now in the world? And how can you help all your people develop and grow and feel connected to that culture? So cheers to you and cheers to the path ahead for all of us. I hope today's episode got you thinking in some ways. If you have any questions, thoughts, if we can be of any support to you in the development of your people, that culture in your organization, developing leaders, whatever that might be, I ask you to reach out to us. You can either email us, info@jasonvbarger.com, info@jasonvbarger.com, or you can track us down through the jasonvbarger.com website, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Again, I'll just say thanks to everybody out there who rates the podcast, subscribes to the podcast, leaves an authentic review in your own words, and shares episodes that mean something to you. Share it with other people in your life and your work, and that helps amplify the messages. And lastly, I'll just remind us to step back, remember, be a thermostat, and breathe good oxygen. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using, and share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to you and your organization, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. And remember, We are all ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.